Hello, Henning Pauli here. The channel is HP42. Today I have a completely different video. You're not even going to hear sounds. But this is something that's pretty special, unique, and monumental to me. And to understand this and the story of what's in the box, I need to tell you a little bit about myself. I went to Berklee College of Music in 1997. I had written a musical about handicapped people. I played in some bands. Was I the greatest musician? Fuck no. But I was decent. I knew a little bit more than maybe the average student coming right after high school, right? And I didn't quite know exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I wouldn't do guitar performance because I thought that me being the next D5 wasn't going to happen anyway. I thought I might do songwriting because I had, written a musical. I thought I might do arranging, something like this. And in the first semester, you kind of do all the classes you have to do anyway, harmony, ear training, a couple of others, arranging 1, all that. Now, I think I tested into arranging 2 directly, or was it arranging 1? I don't remember. But one of the classes I took was Principles of Audio Technology. So it's Audio Technology 101. Taught by Tom Ray, Dr. Tom Ray, RHEA. That class was pretty, no, actually that wasn't. It might have been Michael Brigida who taught it. Doesn't matter. Either Michael Brigida or Tom Ray. So I took that class and it was all about, this is an XLR cable. Well, duh, I've played in bands, right? This is what MIDI does, and it's a Dean standard. So, oh, really? So all these things, I mean, I had written a musical, I had worked with MIDI, I had programmed drums for, 7 years at this point. So I was a little bit ahead of the curve for that rather simple class. And then they took me aside and said, hey, do you maybe want to do a music synthesis, which is now called ED, who knows? Back then it was called music synthesis. Whoa, it's been a while. I don't remember things anymore. And that really means sound design. Like, how do you program a keyboard? What is subtractive synthesis? What's an oscillator? And all these things, and how does that work? It's programming synthesizers. But that was at the advent of digital recording. So it was also sequencing, digital recording, editing digital stuff, editing on tape, so we knew how it was done and how it's done now. In 1997, the sequencers could do audio, 16-bit, 44, basic stuff. Not a lot of plugins out there. Synthesizer plugins? No, that was all hardware. I then decided to do arranging, contemporary writing and production. That's what it is called. And sound design, music synthesis at the same time. So I did a double major, meaning more semesters, more money, but I wanted to have those tools, and also because the teachers convinced me, hey, you're good at this, which is of course bullshit. I knew what a fucking XLR cable was, okay? So Michael Brigida and Tom Ray kind of took me under their wings, and Tom kind of became my mentor. I took a lot of his classes, and Dr. Tom Ray was the guy that wrote the manual for the Moog Mini Moog, the first commercially available synthesizer you could actually move around. There was, of course, the big wall of modular, which Tom toured around with Emerson, Lake and Palmer, setting these up on stages. He was there when the synthesizers first saw the light of day, when the first portable synthesizer saw the light of day. He wrote the manual for it. He is a dinosaur in this business. He was a good friend to Bob Moog, and I learned subtractive synthesis and what we call analog synthesis from him. I learned a lot from the man. And here comes the funny thing. I finished that course of study. I got a summa cum laude in it. I kind of know my shit. However, I've never really worked on analog synth because it was the time when plugins just started coming out, and also that synthesizer that started everything for all of us in the synth world, the Mini Moog, that had to be tuned, didn't have MIDI, had no presets, it had one sound, right? And you set it up and that's it. Went out of tune at shows, all that. I never played one. I never laid my hands on one. I think I always had respect for the thing, and maybe I was even scared. Do I even know what to do with this? This is the thing. If I can't make that thing sound good, then what am I even doing? I don't know what it was. And when later the plugins came out, I've got one from Universal Audio. That's great. Arturia. I mean, everyone and their mom makes a, Mini Moog plugin. The most I did on those was call up presets, because I didn't want that, playing around with it in the virtual world, to be my first experience with this massively, I'm getting goosebumps, iconic thing that my mentor wrote the manual for, right? So I never had one. I mean, who has a Mini Moog? They're expensive. I never played one. I never programmed one. Not even virtually. I always just stepped away from it. So earlier this year, I made a video about InMusic and had some issues with communicating there. And since then, I started talking to their CMO. Once in a while we talk, we chat. If they have something interesting going on, maybe I can do a video about it. We haven't done anything yet. But then it turns out that he used to be the CEO for Moog Music when, they came back before they were bought by InMusic. And so I told him the following story. Bob Moog visited Berkeley, did a talk about, being Bob Moog, being one of the people that invented the synthesizer. I don't want to say he was the one, but I mean, one of the people that was there from the beginning. And then my teacher introduced me to him, and I had talked to a bunch of studio musicians who had converted old Mini Moogs into rack-mounted systems, had control voltage to MIDI converters to actually be able to play it with MIDI, and made it work for their purposes. But it was always a love-hate relationship, because it could be so much more usable, but they wanted that sound. And the bastard that I am, the daring, don't care who you are, let me tell you about stuff guy, I had the audacity to tell Bob Moog, you know what? Why didn't you bring that to Mini Moog? And he looks at me like, yeah, I don't know, that's difficult. Moog music wasn't really a big thing at that point. They were doing some pedals, like a ring modulator, maybe the filter. I've been using the filter plugins a lot. I told him, no, fuck all that. What people want is the Mini Moog. And they said, well, yeah, it's expensive with wooden panels and the knobs are hard to get. And I'm like, Bob, you don't get it. Make it out of plastic, make it fucking yellow. Who cares? People want this thing available, not retrofitted, with MIDI and presets. Do the Mini Moog, give it MIDI, give it presets, see it fly off the shelves. I don't care if it's wooden and has the original knobs. Nobody cares. We want your sound. And then we parted ways. 2-3 years later, the Moog Voyager appeared. Big monophonic thing, kind of a Mini Moog, but with presets and MIDI and a modernized version. And obviously, many people told Bob, do the Mini Moog. Obviously, it wasn't just me. But when I meet people from Moog or that world, I always say it was me who brought the Mini Moog back, or the Voyager, and who was responsible for convincing Bob to do it. In my head, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Obviously, it's not the story, but I'm sticking to it. But back that was, probably 28 years ago or something. Bob has passed on. So I'm talking to Joe and he said, do you want to, given your history with your major and Bob and all that stuff, what can we do with Moog? And he said, do you want to do the Muse, like an, I think, 8-voice synthesizer, and that would obviously be great to have, presets, multi oscillators, all that stuff. But I said, I don't know what I would do with it. I really have no need for it. But a mini Moog would be the Ritterschlag. When someone gets knighted, it would just be the thing to have to be part of the pantheon of synth owners. I don't know. It's just, as someone who went through these classes with that guy and met Bob, it would be something I would forever cherish. However, they're close to $5,000. And I mean, the Bob Moog Tribute Edition is only minimally updated. Has no presets. A tiny little bit different on, I think, the LFO section or something like this. But it has MIDI. It has the ability to feed. I think it's got aftertouch, which you can feed. The keyboard has aftertouch, which you can feed back into it to do a couple of things. So it is, especially with the MIDI part, slightly updated, but not massively. It's still the no preset wooden box that does one sound at a time. But I so longed for one. Since I started working with Tom Ray and talking to these artists saying, this is what we used in the 80s to under every electric bass to make it fatter. This is what I used for this. It's just the sound. And according to my friend Stefan, even the Voyager didn't sound like the Mini Moog. There's still a little bit of betterness on the Mini Moog. Stefan has a Model D, and just because he's crazy, recently purchased the Geddy Lee Signature Edition, which is super, super, super rare and is past $5,000. So now he's got two monophonic synthesizers that do the same thing, but one of them is red. What an idiot! Where was I? I said in music to Joe, let me do a sound design series. Let me explain to you guys what's an LFO, what's an oscillator, what's an envelope, what is oscillator sync, how do all these elements make sense, what's FM and why. And then do these in little videos. Maybe we continue this, possibly with the help of Eventide, I had some calls, into effects. What's flanging and why? What's phasing and why? Tape delay. How do you set up the parameters? What is wow, what's flutter and why? Little videos to help you on your journey of your own sound design. You see the word LFO in every guitar model. I've got a head rush over there. If you go in there, in many effects, there's the word LFO. Do you know what that means? Well, it's coming from the synth world. What's an envelope and why? I will use what's in that box. And by now you know what's in that box. I'm gonna cry. I will use that to teach you these things. Funny enough, if you want to or not, I will make those videos because it brings me way, way back to a time when very smart, knowledgeable people taught me everything I know. So, I will unbox this now. I will, and I'm sorry about this, make it a private thing when I first play it. I've waited about 30 years to put my hands on this instrument, and I want this to be a private moment. I'm sorry. This is a massive box. She said it is, I think, $4,800. And you can, as far as I understand, not get them anymore. So I had to make that decision to go for this and use this for those videos because apparently they used NOS parts to really give you that sound. Of course, you can get, extremely close and they will do similar analog synths. It's Moog, that's what they do. But exactly that, according to what they told me, they can't make anymore because they simply just don't have the parts. So this is one of the last ones they can ever make, they said. It's just like this, farewell tour of some band, and then 2 years later, oh, we're back because we ran out of money. Oh, we found some parts. We made some more, mini Moogs. So you can see on top, really nice. I somehow have to get this out of the box now. Oh, before I continue, obviously 4,800 or the, Geddy Lee 5,200 is a lot in euros to get a single note. Which is why they also sent me the Messenger, which I will review as a straightforward review. Looks like so. It's a monophonic synth. It looks like it has a lot of the same ideas. 2 oscillators, it can do oscillator sync, I can send 1 into 2 for FM. I will explain all this to you. It's got the mixer, it's got the filter, it's got 2 envelopes, it even has presets, it's got a sequencer. So technically, this can do more than the Mini Moog. It actually can. The keyboard feels super nice. It's got all the little pluggies for your Euro rack and control voltage and all that. It has MIDI, it's got USB-C. It's a pretty, I mean, I haven't heard it yet, but it's a pretty solid looking keyboard synthesizer with a real analog oscillator or sound. It's got 2 oscillators, plus noise, plus sub, for 619 euro. So if you like everything we're going to talk about, this will be reviewed, even though it's a guitar channel. But you know, this is where I come from back in the late 90s. This is what I studied more than guitar. And I will review this. And if you want to dip your toes into the world of analog synthesis and play along with all these lessons that I will do, 620 bucks gets you there. Ugh. I better get a table ready. Holy. Oh my god. Folks, this does feel pretty damn massively special. British power cable, don't need that. What is this? There's a poster. I saw that in the Messenger. It's a really nice poster that you can, kind of 70s looking. But what is this? It's a newspaper. Oh my god, it's an oldified newspaper introducing the Mini Moog. It's printed like on a 70s, well 60s newspaper. Okay guys, I mean there's nothing in it, just cool looking. But it is full on newspaper. Just cool looking graphics, nothing special here. You know, shit like this. And like psychedelic shit. But, and don't want to say, well, that makes it all worth it. But that is pretty cool. I already actually read the manual online quite a bit, just to understand some things. And I wonder how much of that is the original manual or if it was completely rewritten. Well, there is, I mean, it would actually say, we got it right here. Oh, you know, I don't think this is Tom Ray's manual. However, how much of his manual did they take? 2022. There are a lot of example settings which I will dive into. But this is good to have in a nice ring binder. This is how it should be when it comes to manuals. What is this? That is, oh, it's an external power supply? Seriously? Can't plug in my IEC cable directly? It's kind of lame. Sorry, I don't want that. Put that inside, people. Has it always been like that? I don't know. Can you still see? Oh yeah, there's cameras. Holy crap, hold on. I can't believe that this moment is here. Honestly, it's 30 years. This is mine. I have dream guitars, but I've never had this moment of, is this really real? Is this actually my thing? I'm happy about a nice guitar arriving, like my Tyler and, you know, the Novo, and there's guitars being built for me. Nick Huber's building an amazing guitar for me, but this feels different. It's definitely nicely packaged. Oh, and it's heavy as fuck. It's wood at the bottom. It's wood everywhere. As it would be, huh? Get it? Oh Oh! That is pretty crazy. Yep, that's the mini Moog. As original as you can possibly get nowadays. And then you get the panel up and somehow... that's got a tape on it. I mean, that's very simple. In the back, it's just a little flap, and you can have it on 3 different levels. That's extremely simple, but it'll probably the way that it used to be. You know what, guys? I will spend some time with this. Has a little light in it that actually sticks out. This just feels the way that it's supposed to feel. Holy crap. Because it's got these very straightforward, beautifully illustrated sections on the front panel, it is great for a series on sound design. And then we will continue our series later into effects. That's my plan for now. Let's see how life treats me and if things happen, and if I have the time and how far I can drag this. But that's the plan, that's coming. I will now spend some time with it. I hope you can understand that we want to be alone. Thanks to Joe from InMusic for sending this over. I will never accept free gear. The idea is always that I will provide content, which is why we're doing this series, also because it's interesting and I want to do it. And for those that say, well, you know, there it is, there's his payoff from InMusic. Well, I made the video, they called me, I took the video down, I made a new video about them calling me, and I said, we'll monitor the situation. I have to say that Joe he's in a big role, and they just bought Native Instruments and then sold half of it off again. Well, Brainworks and Plugin Alliance went back to Dick Ulrich. Isotope went to Boris Effects, so they kept NI. Don't know if they're going to cannibalize it for Akai and what's going to happen there, but we can only hope that Native Instruments will continue to be Native Instruments. So there was a transition there, and we talked on and off. Some other people from the company that I had contact with, super responsive. Some other guy, not so much. So are they still trying to get their communication to the level where it needs to be? I think so. Is the guy in charge of all of it now more aware of the mistakes that were made? Absolutely. Does he take full ownership of those mistakes? Absolutely. Will I work with them on a regular basis now? We'll see. We're going to talk about the Head Rush and the Head Rush Prime and the Flex Prime and the new stuff they've done there. And we'll see how that goes and how the communication with his people is. But just to let you know, this is not pay him off and he says nice things about InMusic, which I just didn't. This is, again, I will provide content that I produce for this. Hopefully content that they like, that I like, that we all like. Thanks for watching and for sharing this pretty damn special moment with me. If you're into this, watch the videos that are coming on the Model D and the Messenger and some other stuff. Thank you so much. Oh, animals at the end.
I'm not made of solid gold, and my shoes, they are worn by the time they are way too old. I've not been touched in many years. Have a lost building up like of trust has kept me